North Carolina, famously known as the Tar Heel State, is a place where rich history, natural beauty, and cultural diversity all come together. Most people know it as the site of the Wright brothers' first flight in 1903, a landmark event that solidified the state's place in the history of aviation. But while North Carolina is celebrated for its historic milestones, scenic landscapes, and vibrant cultural attractions, there's also a lesser-known, darker side to the state that doesn't always get the attention it deserves. Curious about North Carolina's darker realities? Let's take a closer look. One of the more troubling aspects of North Carolina is its growing issue of homelessness, which has increasingly become a critical problem in the state. According to a report from the Department of Housing and Urban Development in January 2022, around 582,000 people across the United States experienced homelessness on a given night. Of that number, approximately 9,300 people were residents of North Carolina. Alarmingly, about 38.6% of those facing homelessness in the state are completely without shelter, living in conditions that are often harsh and unpredictable. These statistics place North Carolina 15th among the 50 states for the percentage of homeless individuals lacking any form of shelter. The situation is made even more difficult by the fact that North Carolina ranks as one of the states with the lowest unemployment benefits in the country. This issue is compounded by rising unemployment rates in certain areas. Take Guilford County, for example, where unemployment surged by 4% in early 2023. Neighboring areas such as Forsyth and Alamance have also seen similar trends, with unemployment rates climbing to around 3.7%. This worsening homelessness crisis is a reflection of the broader economic challenges facing North Carolina. With a significant portion of the population struggling without basic shelter and joblessness on the rise, the state is under increasing social pressure. The low unemployment benefits only add to the hardship, making the struggle for survival even more difficult for many residents. In light of these challenges, North Carolina urgently needs greater support from both the government and local communities. Social organizations and charitable groups must continue working to improve living conditions for those affected. Addressing homelessness and unemployment requires coordinated efforts and sustainable solutions to truly make a difference in the lives of those most vulnerable in the Tar Heel State. In addition to the ongoing issue of homelessness, North Carolina faces other troubling challenges that make up the darker side of life in the state. These issues include the rampant presence of prostitution, drug abuse, and violent crime. One community that offers a glimpse into these problems is Fayetteville, where residents have been grappling with a persistent crime wave for years. Many Fayetteville locals have lived under a cloud of fear as their neighborhoods became hot spots for criminal activity. In response, community members gathered to call for the closure of 3 motels near Crown Coliseum, which they believe are breeding grounds for illegal activities. Their concerns are well-founded. According to data from the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, since 2019, this area has seen 20 homicides, 39 cases of sexual assault, 28 drug overdoses, and 11 instances of human trafficking. While the crime issues in Fayetteville alone don't define the entire state, they provide a window into the larger problem of drugs, prostitution, and violence that exists in parts of North Carolina. The situation in Fayetteville serves as a stark reminder that these issues continue to haunt some communities, even if they aren't always highlighted on a broader scale. Beyond Fayetteville, another place that highlights North Carolina's darker side is the small city of Wadesboro, a town facing substantial hardships. In 2024, Wadesboro was ranked as one of the most dangerous cities in the state. Despite its small size, the city struggles with crime rates that exceed both national and state averages. Wadesboro is notorious for having one of the highest rates of violent crime in the United States. This includes serious offenses like rape, murder, armed robbery, and aggravated assault. Property crimes are also rampant, with frequent reports of burglary, motor vehicle theft, and arson. Despite these challenges, local efforts to combat crime offer a glimmer of hope. The Anson County YMCA, in partnership with various local programs, has been working to address the high crime rates. In addition, the Wadesboro Housing Authority has provided grants to empower residents, fostering a sense of community ownership as a means to curb criminal activity. In the face of such daunting circumstances, Wadesboro's community members are showing remarkable resilience and determination to bring about positive change. The collaborative efforts between local organizations are not only aimed at reducing crime, but also at building a sense of hope and a better future for the town's residents. Though Wadesboro carries the stigma of being one of North Carolina's most dangerous cities, the community's efforts to transform their environment are growing stronger. There is a collective push to ensure that the town's darker side no longer overshadows the lives of those who call it home. So far, we've explored some of the darker sides of North Carolina through the lens of social issues, many of which remain unresolved. If you've been paying attention, you'll notice that much of the state's struggles stem from these persistent challenges. However, not all of North Carolina's troubles come from societal problems. Sometimes, darkness descends in the form of nature's fury. One such example is the devastation caused by Hurricane Helene. In late September 2024, this powerful storm slammed into North Carolina, leaving behind a trail of destruction the likes of which the region had never seen before. The storm was referred to as a biblical catastrophe because it unleashed an overwhelming amount of rain, equivalent to 4 months' worth of precipitation, in just 3 days. The aftermath was nothing short of catastrophic. Governor Roy Cooper emphasized the severity of the disaster, warning that the recovery process would be long and arduous. The situation was so dire that hundreds of National Guard troops were deployed to help manage the crisis in the wake of the storm. Tragically, the death toll continued to climb, with more than 120 reported fatalities across 6 states, and hundreds more people still missing. In addition to the lives lost, Hurricane Helene displaced over 1,100 people, forcing them to seek refuge in emergency shelters. The scale of the destruction was a direct result of Helene's landfall as a Category 4 hurricane, packing wind speeds of up to 140 miles per hour. The storm not only shattered homes and infrastructure, but also shattered the stability of entire communities, leaving a deep scar on North Carolina. Among the many dark tales in North Carolina, few evoke the same level of horror as the unsolved Grisly Murders that continue to haunt the state. These cases aren't just disturbing because of their brutality, but because many of them remain unsolved, leaving the perpetrators at large and residents on edge. One such case is the murder of Faith Hedgepeth, a promising student at UNC Chapel Hill. In 2012, Faith was found brutally murdered in her apartment. Despite the presence of DNA evidence and phenotyping that suggested the killer might be of mixed Native American and European descent, the case remains unsolved. The fact that the person responsible for such a heinous crime is still out there creates a chilling sense of uncertainty for the community. Another mysterious case that adds to the state's eerie atmosphere is the discovery of 3 bodies in Lumberton. In 2017, the decomposing remains of 3 women were found in close proximity to each other over a short period. The advanced state of decomposition made it difficult to determine the exact cause of death, and the investigation has struggled to produce any significant leads. To this day, the identities of their killers remain a mystery, deepening the dark cloud hanging over this small town. Then there is the unsolved death of Judy Smith, a case that still baffles investigators. Judy vanished unexpectedly while traveling with her husband to Philadelphia, only for her body to be found months later in Asheville, North Carolina, over 600 miles away from where she was last seen. To this day, the circumstances surrounding her death remain unknown, adding another chilling chapter to North Carolina's book of unsolved mysteries. While North Carolina's beauty and culture are undeniable, the state also has a dark side that often lurks just beneath the surface. Whether it's the fury of nature through hurricanes like Helene or the lingering terror of unsolved murders, the Tar Heel State is no stranger to hardship and mystery. These stories serve as a reminder that even the most picturesque places can hold their share of darkness, hidden in plain sight.